Hello, and welcome to today's Esoteric Collective reading. I hope you all are having a very beautiful day wherever you're at. We're going to go ahead and get right on into it to what does the collective need to hear today. For new viewers of the channel, I have a cat, so while right now he's chilling off screen, you may hear him shuffling around with a cat toy, or he may come on screen at some point. I did meant to say screen, and I said scream with an M, so maybe screaming for excitement could be something that's relevant towards your life right now. I just saw the Scream franchise, like the 7 one's coming out soon, I believe. So that could be a synchronicity for you. But we're going to see, what does the collective need to hear today? Any and all decks used will be in the description if you're interested. Whoa, okay. So we've got Queen of Wands and Emperor that both flipped out of the deck together. So I'll leave them as such so you can kind of see those. I'll zoom in a little bit. Apologies for the camera adjusting. Yeah. So automatically it's giving this idea of having structure to your creative, intuitive pursuits. With the Emperor being the major arcana here, it discusses how having structure to your life, having an understanding of how you would like your life to work out, and more like the structure of like, it's giving me like strategy planning, like when you're planning out a project, it's not necessarily figuring out what the steps are, but more on how to achieve each of the steps' goals, right? So, for example, a very, very easy example, if you're making a sandwich, let's say, the structure would be that you need to grab the ingredients, you may need to purchase said ingredients, but once you have the ingredients, the next step of that structure would be placing the ingredients. Do you have the utensils needed to place the ingredients on the sandwich? Do you have a plate to have the sandwich be housed on, right? It's not necessarily step A, step B. It's how do I accomplish step A? Do I have all the things required for step A? Step B, same scenario. So that being coming out with the Queen of Wands, which to me is all about like, if there's a card for alchemization that's not a major arcana, specifically alchemization within art, the Queen of Wands definitely gives me that vibe. Can also be more of a just like generalized confidence, not necessarily creativity, but something to do with the wand suit, which is heavily influenced by creativity, passion. They don't call it a passion stick for nothing, if you catch my drift. This idea that you're able to create a structure so that way you can have a good foundation for those creative pursuits, a good foundation for that intuitive confidence, right? I'm going to go into what else? Some clarification cards. Ooh, a card flips upside down, but it didn't flip out of the deck. And it's a Three of Pentacles, which is interesting. Yeah, so this, if we're going on the same journey, if you will, as I was talking about earlier, it's this idea that you could be either reaching out to people to help them, like, help create a group of people to achieve the goals, and or you might be reached out by somebody who sees you as an asset, as a tool that can be used towards our next goal, right? It's like that idea of when you're casting a play, for example, because I'm a big theater person, kind of, not really, but kind of, a little bit. I dabble in the theater, theater, I should say, but point being, when you're casting a play, it's important to keep in mind what kinds of individuals do you want to bring into that environment so that way y'all can reach the common goal of having a complete show in however many months you have to rehearse, right? So whether or not it's you reaching out or you being reached out to, I'm leaning more towards the second one, but I'm going to leave it open for both sides of this story. Whether or not it's you being the one reached out to or reaching out, this idea that collaboration is key here, like many minds are better than one, and being able to be vulnerable enough to encourage teamwork, to allow yourself to, yes, take main stage when you need to, but also to allow yourself to be a second in command, to be the second character, to be the side character for a moment, you know, understanding how you as an individual play within your creative, if not professional business pursuits, right? So again, with that confidence, it's like knowing why you're in the building, knowing why you're in there with that team, knowing that you have a purpose, and so do the people who you are collaborating with also have a purpose. Interesting. So our last cards are High Priestess and Hermit, but they both came separated and upside down, so I'm going to flip them to make sure they're reversed or not. Cool, they both came out sideways. Lovely. I'm going to readjust the camera. I apologize if it's shaky. But this is very much giving me the vibe that if you are being the one reached out to, then you may be kind of picking up on the vibe that an opportunity may be coming your way soon. Maybe one that has something to do with your creative efforts. If not, this idea that if it's not a creative opportunity or pursuit, this could totally be taken as, especially with the Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, this idea that you're coming out of your hermit shell, and with that Queen of Wands, that confidence that is on a solid foundation with that Emperor card, you're coming through as being able to get out of your hermit mode because you know that it is time for you to get out of your hermit mode, right? The hermit mode is something that we'll often go back to every once in a while, depending on, frankly, your life and the decisions you make and the decisions that you need to think on to make. It's a spectrum, right? I can't tell you exactly you need to hermit mode for this amount of time. However, one of the things that's important about the High Priestess is knowing your inner truth, your inner secrets. And part of that, especially when in combination with the Hermit card, is understanding when is it time for me to go outside? When is it time for me to go inside? Yes. But part of that same coin, two sides of the same coin, if you will, is also when is it time to leave the hermit mode? And I'm getting from this vibe for these cards, your little 5-card pull here we got, that it's giving, maybe it's time. And you may be presented with an opportunity that will help you get out of this hermit mode and really get into your field, your forte, what makes you feel as confident as a Queen of Wands and Emperor combination. That's a pretty fucking good combination for how you're coming through this reading. So own that confidence. Know that you're in the room for a reason. These people want to collaborate with you, or you want to collaborate with these people for reasons. Multiple. So sit in that confidence, stand in that confidence, whatever this pursuit may be, whether it's just generalized life confidence, making sure that you feel good in your own skin, or whether it's something specific like an actual creative project, like for example, a play. But other than that, I'm going to end this off with an All of You is Magic card. If you're interested in any or all of the decks, they'll be listed in the description. But this is just a good little meditation prompt or visualization practice. I love these cards. They're absolutely gorgeous. Lovely. Alright, so I'm going to read this to you first, and then I will let y'all look at the image as I do my outro. So hopefully I can get this to focus. Your heart is always expanding and stretching to fit more love, experiences, and truth than you could ever imagine. Visualize your heart as elastic, growing with every experience. It is limitless. And then there's the imagery of the card. You can probably hear my cat eating some food in the background. Also, if my audio is a little different, I'm no longer, currently in this moment, using a puff guard because mine broke. I have another one, I just gotta find it. But, so apologies if my P's are a little extra puffy. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Just remember that whatever this new experience may be, whether this new experience is you feeling more comfortable in your own body and confidence, or whether this new experience is a creative opportunity that will come to you, know that whatever it may be, life's experiences are what creates our truths on one side. The other side is how we think, feel, react to said experiences. So if you've had plenty of time on that second side of sitting with yourself and really getting introspective with yourself about your past, maybe it's time to create new memories so that you can eventually go back into this stage of being introspective and reminiscing about your past. And again, that's the beautiful part of life, is that it's a constantly multiple different cycles repeating, but hopefully you'll learn a little something every time you go through the cycle, so that way it's a little bit better the next time. But other than that, please check out my Linktree if you feel so inclined to donate today to specifically Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Yemen, and Haiti, as well as many more. Excuse me. Also, if you're an immigrant, particularly in the United States, I hope you have a beautiful day today. I hope you get the chance to talk to an old friend after a long time of not being able to, and I feel like that might be nice. And I hope you have a beautiful, safe day. Apologies if my cat eating food was a little awkward at the end, but I'm gonna let him do his thing. He's a cat. But regardless of your immigration status, please have a beautifully safe day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.